Action.
Action. Good morning.
Good morning. It's still morning. Yes, good morning. On
How are
this
you?
dreary, drippy, already winter. Like, where did our fall? We had no fall. It was literally last week on Monday. It was 81 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
I was
Wow.
stifling hot. I wore
It was
knit
warm
socks that
here too.
morning because it was like 49 when I got out and about. And then I wanted to like put on my flip flops halfway through the day. And then Tuesday, it was 53,
Wow.
high of 53. So
That was a
today it's
big
like
drop.
40 degrees outside. Yeah. And raining.
I think it's in the upper 60s today, maybe low 70s. I mean, it feels cool here. Usually in the morning it's in the low 50s
Yeah.
and then it warms up. So we've been having very nice weather in the low 70s
That
all
must be
week.
nice.
It's nice. It's just like long
So
sleeve t-shirt weather.
I feel like we should get back to introducing ourselves and who we are and where we live
Okay, we
because
can
some
do
people
that.
may not know.
Yes.
We get replies all the time from people that put a message, a comment on the podcast that say, "I just
I
found you."
just
And I'm
found you.
like,
I
"Oh my
know.
gosh, welcome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you found us."
So if you're new, welcome. If you've
Welcome.
been with us for a
If you're old
while,
like us,
yeah,
you
welcome
need your
back.
you need you to dye your hair if you're old. You probably don't.
But we are the Periscoping Sisters. I am Debbie and I live in California.
And I'm Amy and I live in Georgia. And
And
why are we the periscoping with
we are
sisters?
sisters.
What's up with that name? Can it
Don't
be
get
any
me
more
started.
strange? Okay, Debbie's wanted to change the name for a while. And when
I
we
don't
started
care.
this whole showing up in people's phones and things, we started on Periscope where
Yeah.
I had Debbie in the background on my computer as a Skype conversation while I was recording with my phone. And so when we decided to podcast, we needed a name. And we said, well, let's just use Periscoping Sisters. Well, meanwhile, now Debbie wants to change the name. And of course, everyone's just like,
I'm
oh,
no, I'm
don't change the name.
over it. I'm over it. It's fine.
Okay.
We are the Periscoping Sisters. That's how we got our start, and we
And
will
I
stay
really kind of,
true to our roots.
and if we ever make another button that doesn't have Gabacorn on it, which by the way, you guys, Gabacorn is missing in action still. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, we need to have a little periscope on the button with
with
two
our
little people
with our
looking at each other.
faces with our faces
That's
on the
right.
front of the Periscope.
I think that's what most people, when they don't know the Periscope app and what's that about, I
Yeah.
think it's sort of it's like an Instagram live, but it stays up 24 hours,
Yeah.
maybe longer, a couple days. But they think of like a Periscope,
Right. And since we're on
which
opposite sides of the country, we don't physically see each other too often. Although in the last couple years, it's been a lot more often than it was in the past.
mm-hmm.
So we do this podcast together as a way to hang out
See each other.
together, see each
Yeah, because
other.
really, you guys, we don't. I mean, it's not, and we should, but I mean, we have such busy schedules. Of course, a 3 hour
Yeah.
time difference makes it really hard. But
Yeah.
I mean, we should pop on and just FaceTime each other more often.
Yeah. But
Shame on us.
usually we talk on the
Oh, but
phone, it's when we're driving.
I
And
know.
so
And
we
I
can't
drive all
really,
the time. By the time Debbie's driving home from work, Skylin is in the bed and I'm having to kind of like be quiet. It's almost
yeah.
time I got to turn the TV off and go in the other room.
Yeah.
So it's not like we can just, and I don't stay up till midnight because then that would be great. Then Debbie and I could FaceTime when she got home, but I don't.
Right.
So, because I'm old.
And I'm not getting up at what,
No.
3 in the morning to
Yes.
see you when you get up in the morning.
That's
So
right. That's right.
we do these on
So,
the weekends now and then. And we went for a few months where it was maybe once a month. But we're going to try and get back into a regular schedule. We're going to strive to do more with you guys and the whole one of the reasons why we wanted to do the podcast in the first
yeah.
place was to build community and share with you guys our sister story and how
Hmm.
the fiber arts has really strengthened our bond as sisters and given us something fun to do together even though we're far apart. So
Yeah. And
we love
I know there's podcasters
it.
that feel obligated to do knit alongs and to do giveaways and to have contests and to do all this stuff. But um, I I just feel like it's if it feels good to do, let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And a
don't live
lot of
my life that way because I'd be in jail, however, if I lived my life that way. But I
but a
mean,
lot of what
I
we do
think
is
this is a
spur of the moment. We just
it is
decide, like, let's do a giveaway.
because
Let's look at the
because I say to Debbie, like I did last year, let's do a mystery knit along. She's like, I think we should talk about this later. No, let's talk about it right now. so, so we are kind of, well, I tend to push Debbie to be a little bit more impulsive, but I think this is also another great venue for promoting other people. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many small businesses, and if you get, now this is my own philosophy and personal opinion, so if you don't like it, then that's okay. You can put it in the garbage. But I feel like there's so many people out there that tap into the arts, either buy yarn or like to dye yarn or make bags or make
Yeah.
designs and all of that. And there's enough customers for everybody. I don't think you have to be as so competitive as we can't talk about anybody else's yarn because I want them to buy my yarn. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
A ridiculous train of main, and there's maybe people out there and that is their business. And I've just called them ridiculous, but I'm not sorry about that. I still think it's ridiculous. So, and Debbie and I are truly blessed to be able to do these ventures as a hobby. And
Yes.
she's not hurting for yarn, as you can see behind me. I'm not hurting for yarn, and now I'm dyeing yarn. So, we're going to be talking, we're going to have some giveaways, like a just because giveaway, just because we want to share some of the things that we've enjoyed and maybe may not knit it, but would like to send it your way.
Yeah.
So,
And I really enjoy doing spur of the moment giveaways because it's instant gratification and it's a surprise. And who doesn't love a
oh
surprise,
yeah,
right?
everybody loves it.
And
Mom doesn't like surprises.
yeah, that's true.
She
She doesn't
doesn't.
really like
She may be
surprises.
the only one.
Yeah, but that's
We
okay.
didn't get that from her.
To each his own. And and one of the things that I like about the podcast is hearing from you guys and hearing your feedback
Yeah.
and the funny stories and the things that, just is telling us that we made you laugh. It brings us so much joy just to know that just by being ourselves and by talking to each other,
Yeah.
we're bringing joy to somebody else. And so that's so
Who would have thought?
fulfilling. Who would have thought? The two
Who would have
crazy
thought?
sisters. So
Might make you
please,
cry.
yeah,
I
please,
do. I
there,
love seeing comments on the podcast down below because it's and I do the same thing. Like I was watching Dag's podcast,
uh-huh.
Studio Buzz. Is that what she calls it? Zia Wool's Studio
Zia Wolves,
Buzz.
yeah.
Okay, so if you haven't seen Dag, who's in Albuquerque, New Mexico, she has about 6 or 7
Uh-huh.
podcasts up now.
Yeah.
She is I don't know, there's so few people that by the time they get done, I'm like,
Don't
don't
be
say
done.
goodbye. Don't be done. I know that there's another yarn you can talk about. I'm sure there's a pair of socks you started. Please don't say goodbye.
Yeah.
I feel that way when I watch her, but I
Yeah.
always, and sometimes I stop, pause, and then do the comment. I don't know other people do that because by the
Yeah.
time you watch the whole thing, you're like, I was going to tell them something about
Right.
something and I
You
forget.
can't
So,
remember.
and that's okay. And that's okay. But it's so fun to read those. It
Yeah.
feels like, just like Debbie says, the thing that you lack when you do podcasts is the interaction with other people. Periscope, you have interaction. Uh, Instagram live
Live.
videos, you have interaction,
Which we're
and
going to try and do.
we're
We're going
gonna
to
do
try and do
today.
that
So it's
after the
gonna be fun.
podcast.
It's gonna
So,
be fun. Shall we talk about before we get into admin things? Should we talk about what we're wearing? And we were going to podcast yesterday, but mine wasn't dry, and I said I have been
you go
showing
for it.
pictures of this, and if I don't wear it on our podcast, people will really be tisking me.
Yes.
Okay, so remind me after I show it to talk about the modifications. And there are
Oh,
not that many.
okay.
Okay. All
I'm
right,
sure you
so
will remember.
I finished Andrew Mowry's Comfort Fade Cardi. So I'm going to stand up
It's
so
so
you can come.
beautiful. Aim, I love it. It looks beautiful. I love tell them about the yarn.
Okay, so the yarn is DK. It's my DK base, and I
Turn
dyed it
around.
myself. Okay, so I need to go slow because, Mom, she'll say, you go too fast. Can you see the bottom, Deb?
Yes, I can see the bottom and the colors, Amy, are faded so beautifully.
Thank you.
That's such a
And
good
I
color on you.
and I really wanted a sweater that I mean, I wear khaki colors all the time, but I also have a couple gray pair of pants, and I don't have any wraps or anything with gray. So When I dyed this, I actually used sort of a pecan brown and a silver mixed together. So it made this sort of grayish brown color, I guess, for lack of a better word.
And it comes
And I,
across as a little bit on the purpley, kind of purpley side,
right,
because
because it
it's
has
got,
some of these burgundy
right,
peaches. And
right.
I thought it originally wanted to be, instead of these peaches, I thought it was going to
Move that
be
over,
more,
move your shoulder over to the middle of the screen. There you go. Now we can see. Yes.
I was thinking about it maybe was going to be a seafoam mint color, but I just got done my hoodie shawl cardigan that has that color in it. So I said, no, let's pick a different color. So here's the first color.
Uh-huh.
And then the second color is this in here. And this is reverse stockinette. Isn't this beautiful? It's like the inside, what a sock looks like.
Right.
It's the pearl side. And
Pretty.
then the next color is this really pretty peachy color.
Uh-huh.
And then the last was this, and I just basically just speckled it. I dunked it in just leftover water that had a little bit of gray left in it, but I speckled it basically with gray and pecan and I
Peach.
think pink, peach. So here's the fade of the cuff.
Put it up and
So it
down in the middle
starts,
of the screen so we can see. Yeah, there you go. That's good.
okay, so the fade of the cuff, it kind of starts here and it fades back to so the color D, there's 4 colors and you use 2 skeins for every color except the very first color. You only need 1 skein. So there's 7 skeins in this project and there was leftovers.
Uh-huh.
So what I decided to do is do the fade this way for the collar. So can you see I started the color here
Was it
and I
supposed to be the
faded it this way.
opposite?
No, they did start with color A, but the fade, how they did the fade was different. So because I also didn't do the short rows for the big thick collar in the back.
Uh-huh.
So I did this, I needed this wide band because you can see when it just laid, I mean, I needed quite a bit of space as far as how wide the collar. I think in the original, it's pretty wide up here, but then it gets a little more narrow. It's probably half this size at the bottom.
Really? So you
Yes.
made it wider.
Yeah, so I made it wider. Hold on, I
Okay.
think I've got the pattern. I think I've got the pattern here. And you guys, I knit this. I won't let you stand there and watch my boobs. Oh, this is the wrong pattern. No, it's not it. I knit this in literally 22 days
That's
from cast
amazing.
on to cast off.
So you started it
Okay, hold
right
on.
before Rhinebeck, right? You brought it to Rhinebeck
Yep,
with you. Ah. Oh. Well, no, that's right. She did her color fade the same
uh,
direction.
same
I see.
direction, but I don't think it's the same.
Wait, put that up in the middle again. I think you may have been off center a little bit. Hold it back a little. Everybody knows the sweater. Yeah, that's good. That's so pretty. I might have to make that. You might have to dye me some yarn for one of those because most of
I
my
can do that.
sweaters are fingering because of where I live, but that looks like such a fun knit.
Oh, and it's so warm. Okay,
It
so
looks
let me
so
also tell you about
cozy.
this. So I said to mom, I said, okay, there's supposed to be short rows for this big wide collar. I don't want a wide collar. I just want something that maybe will lay over. But, this is only like the second full sweater I've ever knit. She said, okay. And I knit it on a US 5. So she said, pick
Oh,
up stitches
really?
along the side. Yep, on the
5 with a
5. Uh-huh.
DK.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
She
that's got
said,
to be so
pick up.
squishy.
It is. So she said, pick up the stitches here. And then and I think it was right, I guess at the front raglan here, somewhere right in here, I changed to a size 7 needle. So I did the around
Oh,
with a 7 needle and then 5 on the other side. So I had 3 circular needles going. I had 5s on this side, a 7 around
7.
here, and another set of 5 here.
Did you do
So it
that for
made,
the whole length of the
yes.
Oh,
I knit a couple rows at the very beginning with 5s, and then after maybe 2 garter ridges, I changed to 7s.
what a
So
great way
isn't
to.
that a great tip?
Mom, you are
And
so
so it kind of
smart.
just sort of rolled over just a little bit at the top, and when I blocked it, it blocked out fine. The only thing when I did before I blocked it, it was like this front was kind of like drooping down.
Uh-huh.
But when I blocked it,
It's
it looks
straight.
pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's straight.
So I am really, really, really pleased with how this came out. And that's the other thing I did. I did an I-cord bind off.
Was that not called for in the pattern?
I don't know. Mom told me to do it, so I did. I don't know. See, that's when I just kind of, I don't know, probably. I didn't even turn to the last 2 pages because I was working along, doing my own thing. And you guys, okay, yes, I did knit it basically. No, bind off all stitches using Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. So there is
Ooh,
no I-cord bind off on the original.
interesting. It looks really pretty, Aim. I like how it
It's
finished the
finished
edge.
really
Yes.
nice. So
Gorgeous.
it
Gorgeous.
is finished. I'm so happy with it. Very, very happy with it. And if anybody's thinking that they want to maybe haven't done a sweater, the directions are perfect. They're so easy to follow. And
What
even if you
size
didn't want
did
to
you
try to
make?
figure, I made the medium, I believe. And that was the other thing. I didn't want to, because I'm still losing weight. I didn't want it like oversized. And I think it's a pretty I think I don't think it has a lot of positive ease anyway.
Mm-hmm. It
I
doesn't
am
look like it
knitting,
from the picture that there's much positive ease built into the pattern.
right. No, it says, I think I'm knitting the medium. Medium, yes, the 39.
Now, how long do you think you're going to have your hands on that piece of paper you were just looking at? How long are you going to save that?
What, the pattern? Why?
Because, someday you may go back and you may find another pattern and you may say, oh, this is so much like the Comfort Fade. I can't remember what size I made and what needles did I use for that
Oh,
project. And
shut up. This is okay. I'll tell you where this is going. This conversation is going on to you should have put up a Ravelry project page.
it takes
And
2 seconds.
so does writing down the recipe for everything I dye. And do I do that? No.
You may wish you had someday, but that's
I
okay.
may get Alzheimer's and not even know what Ravelry is, but still be able to do this with my needles.
Okay.
Okay, moving right along. Whatever, lady. Would you like to talk about anything you have finished since we're talking about finished objects? Let's talk about all.
The
Okay, so we had it.
socks.
Okay, so we had wonky internet for a month. So when we finally came back after a month, it was what? Post
Rhinebeck.
Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
So our last video we did talked about all about Rhinebeck. So all the things for the last what 6 weeks, 7 weeks have been sitting waiting to be talked about. And this is the podcast they're going to be talked about. So go for it. Show us all the 15 pairs of socks that you finished
Oh my
in the last
gosh.
8 weeks.
I've shown them all on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably don't need to watch this part of the podcast
But
because you've seen
some
everything
people
before.
haven't seen all of them and they want to see them for real.
Okay, so I'll do them kind of in order because these were the ones I finished first. If you remember, I had my Into the World
Yes,
socks from last Rhinebeck that I
Rhinebeck.
purchased at Rhinebeck. And you
I
can
love
go to my
those.
Instagram to see all the colors or go to my Ravelry projects page because I put
Blah,
in my
blah, blah, blah.
projects in Ravelry.
Whatever.
So
It's a
I
vanilla
had
sock.
these
Who needs a
I had these
project page for that?
I had these as tubes for the longest time because I was like putting off, putting off, putting
Yes,
off, putting
you
in
did.
afterthought heels. And I
Because you're high
finally did.
instep and you're like, I don't know, I don't want to ruin it. Okay, so what did you find out with the afterthought heel and your high instep? You just have to knit a couple few rows before you do the decreases, or what did you find that works for you?
Yes. So what works for me is I pick up the stitches using the Kirby Werby video on YouTube.
Right,
And then I knit 4 rounds just straight around without decreasing anything. 4 straight rounds. And then I
right.
follow the decreases. Basically, it makes like a wedge toe. The Susan B. Anderson.
It's like a little hat.
Yeah, if you fold it in half. No, it's not like a hat. It's not
Oh,
like
no, no, it's just on either
on
ends,
either
not like,
side. Yeah.
right,
See, it makes like a
right.
straight wedge toe where you do
hmm
one
Every other,
decrease on each side every other row. until you get down to however many you want to have at the end. I think I go down to 12 or 10, and then I Kitchener.
Oh, really? See, I do the same thing that mom taught me, decreasing every other round until there's 20 on each needle. So
Mm-hmm.
you have 40 total stitches, and then you decrease every round until you get down to what you want to Kitchener.
That shortens your heel a little bit because
And
you
then
have
you
less rounds,
okay, so you
and it
need a little
makes
bit
it
more of
more
that.
rounded. Right. And I haven't
You
found that.
you've got a tall pointy heel like you
No,
do a
it's funny
head.
because when I
A tall pointy head like the eggheads. They have lots of brains.
when I put these on, it doesn't feel like it's
Is any different.
poofing out far or anything
Well,
like
and
that.
you wore my tilting pine socks on a Rhinebeck day, and you said they fit you perfectly, right? So I guess it doesn't really matter for you so much.
No, they stretch so much. So this was the other pair that I had
I
tubes,
love them.
and I put
That
in
was
the
part of a
heels.
kit from last year,
Yes,
right?
this was my Christmas
Yeah,
gift from you last year.
right.
Rock and String Creations and Whimsy Stitches did a bag
Peg,
kit
like a little
collaboration,
little
and
reindeer.
I love this.
Yeah, with
I
pretty
have
the
this
same
much
colors.
yarn left, two little nuggets,
Wow.
and
You can
I'm
get little shorties in there? No.
well. I mean, I'd have to do heels, toes, and cuffs to do
It
shorties. I probably could get a small
like if you did
pair.
a little Rose City rollers, you just stockinette, let them roll down, and then do a uh get a mini for the heels and the toes.
Yeah, I might
You
try
could do
that.
that, or you can
Because
send them to me, and I can make them.
you
Just
want me to
saying,
send them to you?
I
I
can
was
make
thinking about
those.
making little socks for a little person, like
Oh, a
my
little person.
niece.
Oh, and you have those little blockers. Yes, those would be perfect. Those would be
Well,
perfect, Debbie.
let's talk about those blockers,
Okay, let's talk about those blockers. She bought blockers just for the little people's feet in her life.
right?
Yes. So what
These are
happened?
mediums. So when I got them home and
Oh
I
my
looked at
gosh, they're
them,
the same size.
they're exactly the same size.
So were they, so that's what you've been blocking your socks on, are mediums? Oh, you
Yeah,
needed smalls.
yeah, but that's okay. Do you have sock blockers?
I have sock blockers, but Debbie, I don't know if mine are medium or large. How do you know?
I
You
don't
just
think you
remember?
know. Well, you can always use another set of sock blockers, right? I sometimes have more than one
Sure.
pair of socks, and I'll just use them. But I do need to look into buying some sock blockers that
Small
are.
ones.
Oh, I was going to talk about these. So these are the third pair actually. These are coloring book yarns,
Yep.
Autumn and Mint. It's called,
Yep.
and this was a gift from my sister. You sent me this yarn because I raved over it so much when you showed it on the podcast. I was like, "How did you get that? Where did
Yep.
that?"
Yep.
So I
And
did
that was
these the same
before I was
way.
really that was before I wanted to knit any like
You weren't
vanilla
really into
socks.
socks, right?
I wasn't into vanilla socks. And I said, well, if you have a striped pattern, you have to knit vanilla socks. How boring is that? But then I've found some ways to use striped yarn and make them not so boring and they're not vanilla. So
I
I
love a
really
good
wish I would have
vanilla.
taken that back.
All of these are vanilla. Oh,
I'm only kidding.
really?
I'm only kidding. I was waiting for you to catch that. Debbie, it's earlier there on a Sunday than it is here.
So
No,
that's three
seriously, no.
pairs. And
Those are
then
beautiful though.
when I actually, this pair I had started on vacation when I was in,
Yes.
I'll put this one on.
Luli's pattern from her Simple Socks collection.
Yes. And
The
this
socks with
one,
ventilation.
it's called Socks with Holes in. And this
Mm,
one is actually, I followed the pattern and did the actual heel. I didn't follow the pattern for some reason for the cuff. I don't know why, but I did a 1 by 1 rib. And I think it was supposed to be a 2 by 2.
oh.
But I followed the heel pattern, which is a standard heel flap and gusset, heel turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how these fit my feet too.
Do
The
you?
main reason why I don't do a heel flap most of the time with stripes, I don't like how it cuts up the stripes down the front. So
Right.
that's one time when I don't do it. But for a speckled yarn, I just don't have it memorized, and I don't like to count, and I don't like to pick up stitches and then do the
You
gusset.
don't
So
have it memorized? You do not?
I don't know how many
Oh.
rows you're supposed to do before you do the heel turn, and then I'm not quite sure how to do the heel
Oh,
turn.
Debbie. making a pattern, don't touch these leaves, you had that in there.
I
So
know,
even
but
though
it
you're a designer with it in there, you haven't
doesn't
memorized
mean
it.
I have it memorized.
Okay. Well, that's the heel. That's the heel that I would do for all of my socks until I kind of started getting in the groove of doing afterthought. That is so darn pretty.
And it was
And it
so
kind of
fun to
matches my
knit.
sweater.
I actually knit these on the 9-inch Circs.
Oh,
I enjoyed it.
don't
It
they
was
go
fun.
fast?
And this is hedgehog fibers. So that's pair number one, two,
Four.
three, four. Then
She's a sock knitting fiend since she started using these little 9-inch circs that she said, how could you use them? They're just too small.
these are a
We
gift
learn,
for Tanya's daughter. These are my first Felici socks. I've never used
oh,
Felici
me
before.
neither.
But
They're
look at
cute.
how interesting. Can you see how
Ones that speckle,
speckly?
they all are like that.
No, I
What
don't
about
think
that?
they're supposed to be.
Oh,
I don't think they're supposed to be. See how straight that one is? There's not very many speckles. And then look at this one. It's
right.
got a whole bunch of speckles everywhere.
It's like somebody sneezed during that dyeing
Yeah, look at the
at the
yellow.
skein.
Look at all the speckles in that yellow.
That's kind of cool. I kind of like it though.
Oh well, she's a teenager. She won't care. And
Yeah,
they're mismatched. So
I
they don't
love that
they
part
don't match
even
up
more.
perfectly. So that's pair number I don't well,
Five,
let's check 5. And then I made my Rhinebeck sweater weather colorway from
which you
Nomadic
didn't even bring
Yarns.
to Rhinebeck. Did you even bring those socks with you?
I did. I think I did. Yeah. It was
You
so
did?
warm. Well, they
I
didn't
know.
match. They didn't match what I was wearing.
Yeah.
So I was gonna wear these with my skirt,
Oh, that's right.
but then I ended up
Debbie
not
had her
wearing my
skirt.
skirt.
She even put it on, and she's like,
It's too
she's gonna
hot.
wear it to Indy Untangle. Thank God you didn't. It was
I
hotter there
know.
than it was at Rhinebeck.
I know.
Holy cow, we could have worn like our bathing suits there and still been hot.
So this one I started
So
with
pretty.
more stitches because I wanted it to be a tall leg, and then I decreased down, and I actually decreased down quite a bit. I think the foot is only 56 stitches, but I used a US 2, and usually I use a
One.
US 1. So
I
these are
can't
kind
believe
of,
that God, your gauge is so different than mine. But you like a real dense,
I like a
tighter
firm
sock, I guess.
fabric. Yeah, I like a firm
Yeah.
fabric. These are real like cozy and real squishy. So these, if I tried to wear these in shoes, I'd probably be slipping around too much. Well, I don't know. I could probably wear them with my dance goes, my slip-ons. So that's pair number
They'd be slipping around
6.
because why? Because they're loose on your foot.
Yeah.
Oh.
One, two, three, four, five, 6. And then this is the last pair, and I'm not going to take them out because I already put them in this little.
Oh, they look so pretty. Oh, yes, that's the Hermione's that you started at Rhinebeck, didn't you?
Um,
When did you start those? I
yeah, I
was
think
with
I had
you.
these at
Yeah,
Rhinebeck. I was
yeah.
I was working on these at
You were
Rhinebeck.
you started the toe and you're like, I don't really want to do stock. I don't want to do just a vanilla. What should I do? I said, you do Hermione's. Where'd you get the ball band?
It was a whole
I mean,
bunch of
not the
them were
ball band.
given to
The
me. A whole
Oh,
bunch of them were
really?
given to me by somebody. I don't remember who gifted them to
Oh,
me.
so pretty.
Yeah, I have like half a dozen of them. And
And
then I just
Patricia,
wrote on the
Paradise
back.
Island, she's got free download for hers.
I'm glad you said that because
Yes.
Patricia, I went on your website and I signed up for the newsletter, and for some reason it didn't go through. It didn't send me an email. And
Oh,
that's how if you sign up, you put your email in there, it sends you an email, then you verify that you're a real person. And then you're supposed to be able to get the download, and it didn't let me do it. I'll have to try it again.
you
I'll
could try it
reach out
again.
to her.
So whose are those for?
These are for Tanya for her birthday. Her birthday's actually today.
It
And
is. Happy
yeah,
birthday, Tanya.
next
Are you going to see her
Friday.
today?
No, she's going out with her kids. Next Friday, we're a couple of her girlfriends and I are going to stay overnight at a hotel in Coronado and spend some time together. It'll be fun. Little girls weekend.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So those are all my socks, you guys. And I have another
That's
pair
a
on the
crazy load
needles.
of socks. What's wrong with you? I'm supposed to be doing the socks. You
I was a
guys,
sock knitter before
I
you were a sock knitter, in
I
case you
know, but
forgot.
I still have a little bit left of the foot and toe on the ugly socks for my son for Christmas.
Well, get on that. Why are you not?
I don't
You're
want
on a
to.
sweater quick kick quick.
Yes.
Sweater
Okay.
kick, huh?
So what I decided to do, I've got a couple little babies in my life. Okay, there's not a couple. There's one baby in my life. Where Sky stays after school, there's a little baby, and I was going to knit him a sweater, and I was doing the 12 months, and then I was just like, why is he, every time I see him, he's such a little guy. Well, he's only 4 months old. He's not like going to be a year until like the
The
summer.
summertime, yeah.
So I quit. So I knit a hat. So I knit him this hat in my little
Oh,
stonewash colorway, and
that's
it's
so
a
cute.
Hermione's pattern. However, I checked his head. His head is that big.
Babies have
It's
big
like that
heads.
big, way big. This is not going to fit him.
That's a preemie
But
hat.
but the girl that does my nails, she just found out she's having a boy in January. I'm
Oh,
going to give this to her. This'll fit
perfect.
him. This'll fit him right away.
Yes.
So I restarted another hat for little Cullen, made it bigger, and
Oh,
so
that doesn't
this
look
will
any bigger.
it. Don't hurt yourself while you're laughing. Okay. And everybody else that's laughing with her, shame on
It
you.
looks the
If you
same.
can't be kind, you need to be quiet. And that includes laughing. It's not. It's on bigger needles and there's more stitches.
Okay.
So go flip a kite in the air.
Okay. Oh, much bigger. Are
Shut
you
up.
did you look at a pattern to make sure it's going to fit?
There's no pattern. It's in my brain. So we knit the whole thing and we try it on and hopefully it fits. It'll
Let
fit.
let
It's
me let me
huge.
find something. Let me find something. Just so you have a sense of
Okay.
confidence. Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay. Who's not? Debbie's the one that's not confident. I'm fine just to keep knitting until it fits. Debbie,
Have you heard of this book?
knitting rules. Oh my! Anything that has rules in the title is something that I don't want to look at.
Okay,
There
Stephanie
is
Pearl
such thing as
McPhee,
rules.
the yarn harlot, wrote a book. And there's
Okay, I
thing in
probably need
here,
that book.
chapter 5 is about hats. We're going to do a lesson on hats for all you people out
Everybody,
there.
crisscross applesauce. Stop talking. Everybody, sit on the rug. Hands to yourself.
I think she has a chart in here that gives approximate sizes of head. There's a chart. Can you see that chart?
Okay, typical head sizes. Okay, so how
Okay,
does that help me when I start a hat?
so a preemie has about a head circumference that's approximately 12 inches around. Preemie. A
Mm-hmm.
small newborn, 13 inches. Large newborn, 14 inches. So if you take your gauge and multiply it by 14, that's the number of stitches you should be casting on.
But then that would mean you would have to do a swatch. And who would ever do a
No,
swatch
you
for a
already
baby
have your
hat?
hat knit. Just count your stitches right now and just double check and make sure. But like a small adult has a head that's 20 inches around. That's a lot of inches for a head.
Skyland's head is 24 inches. She's got the head of a horse.
It's large
She
adult.
she was
She's
also
large
born with
adult says
she
24
was
inches.
almost born with a she was like 13 and a half to almost 14-inch head when she was born.
She runs in the large head size then.
Yes, she was about 24 inches long too. So all of those people that say my baby kicks me in the ribs, I don't want to hear it. She was almost 24 inch. She was like a quarter inch shy of 2 feet long when she was born. She was also 9 pounds 4 ounces. So what do you expect? Okay, so let's
Here's
talk about
another
another
interesting
hat.
fact about hats.
Interesting fact. Give us another
Roughly
fact about hats.
roughly speaking, in humans older than 6 years, a person's head circumference is about 3 times the width of his or her outstretched hand measured from thumb to pinky. So if you don't have a measuring tape, you take that distance horizontally across from here to here and multiply it by 3, and that's how big your head is around. So if you want to knit someone a hat and you want it to be a secret, you tell them to put your hand up to yours and you see how much bigger their hand is or smaller, and then you can multiply that by 3, and there you go.
Yes. And they'll be very disappointed when they open up their gift and it's not mittens.
Maybe.
Or they'll say, yes, not mittens. I don't wear mittens. Thank God it's a hat.
And then she gives distance on how long, how tall it needs to be.
Okay, so I need to get that book.
This book is a great book, you guys. Stephanie she's got the funniest writing style. She's hilarious. I've read her blog for
So
years and years.
it's a comedy book.
It's funny. She's
It's fun to read.
funny. 10 reasons to knit hats. Number 1, your mother was right. Again, 30 to 50% of your body heat is lost through your head. This means that for much less knitting, yarn, and time, hats are at least as warm as sweaters. This is good news for knitters who, like me, live in Canada and have a short attention span.
That's perfect.
I'm telling you, this
Knitting
is a great
rules.
book.
Okay. I
And
so
she's
need
got
that book.
sections for, we're doing a little book review. Who knew we were going to do this? But she's
Who
got
knew?
sections for
The things about socks and mittens
hats,
and
socks,
thongs.
scarves, and shawls, and sweaters. And it's a very small, short, little reference book that you can
Yep.
kind of go, oh, there's no patterns in here, but it's a bunch of information of
Yep. Okay.
stuff you didn't know about how big is a baby, a newborn's head, right?
Right.
Okay, there
You
you
need
go.
to know that unless you're knitting him a hat. Okay, so let's speaking of hats, Skyland's piano teacher is this little tiny whift of a person. When it's like really breezy outside, I'm afraid she just may blow away. Like, and all the music and all the papers go everywhere. I think that's it for her. She has a much smaller head than Skyland. I'm sure of it. So I knit a hat in a colorway that I dyed.
Ooh, that hat.
Let me finish. And I tried it on Ronnie, and it was like way big for Ronnie. I said, "Oh my God."
What?
It was, well, I just kind of, so here's another one. Here's the second time around hat for this teacher. I tried it on Ronnie, and it doesn't quite come down on his head. So I'm wondering if it's too small, but I think it may fit her. So it's like a little beanie hat.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the other one didn't look like it was tall enough.
Well, that's
It's
what
like a
this was.
beret.
It's like a little beret, yes.
Oh, it's cute.
So I just did when the orange showed up on the needle, the 4 or 5 stitches, I knit one purl one, knit one purl one.
Uh-huh.
And when it showed up again, I did the same so they'd line up. So there's like little
Ribbing.
what do you call it? Ribbing, little ribbing along this really cool spiral thing.
That's neat, Aim.
So I'll let you know if it fits her.
You're spending all this time knitting things that I just wish you had a reference book to double check some stuff.
I know, I wish I had a reference book too. And she has got, even though she dyes her hair, it's sort of coppery like my color. So I thought this green would be really beautiful.
That's pretty, Aim. I'm sure it'll fit her. Hats are very forgiving. They stretch a lot.
Unless she just says she doesn't like it. And that goes the hat. The hat's out the window.
See, she'll wear it every time you come to the door, I'm sure.
And you know what? I'm thinking about gifting it to her well before Christmas, because when it's 40 degrees and blowing, it's not fun to be outside. And she's got to go in and out from her little different places that she teaches.
Yeah.
So I am, when you cast off a sweater, what do? Cast on another.
Right. But before we get into that, do we want to do a little bit of group news to break things up a little bit?
We totally forgot to talk admin. Okay, let's do that.
Okay. So we had said before our RHINEBECK video that we were going to get back to our hopefully regularly scheduled program a little bit. And we've been so blessed with so many people sending us and gifting us patterns.
Yes.
And you never got back to me, Amy, as to whether you got any additional ones that I hadn't. Okay. Usually we both, people, when they send them, they send one to me and they send one to Amy and they copy us both. But you don't have to feel like you have to give us anything, first of all. And if you give one to one of us, we talk enough that it's fine. You don't have to give it to both of us. So we were actually gifted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patterns.
Is it that many?
5 patterns. And I've already opened up threads in the group to do giveaways for each of these patterns.
Debbie's such a good secretary, isn't she?
Yes.
And you also did some cleaning. You had a cleaning party yesterday in the group.
So I went and I archived a bunch of our old threads that were knit alongs we did in the past, and we're not doing the birthday swaps anymore. And so I tried to clean it up to kind of get it more manageable to where The stuff that's actively going on is stuff that will be right there on the first page. So we received a shawl by the name of Who Wears the Crown. So the thread I put in there, I said,
Beautiful
who wears
shawl.
the crown in your family?
That's right.
So I went in, and some people have already discovered the
The answer
threads, and
should
there are
always be me, me, me.
me. It's not always me.
Well, it's sometimes a 2-year-old, which we
Yes.
know what that's about.
Yes. So that was given to us by Kim, Not Your Average Knits on, I think that's on Ravelry and Instagram both. We got a pair of socks called Rhinebeck is Calling from Kay, the crazy sock
Yes.
lady who we got to meet at Rhinebeck.
Yes.
Hi, Kay.
Hi, Kay.
Thank you for the socks, and I'm sorry it's taken us so long to get these patterns up, but you know how
They're up now.
life is.
Life
Yes,
is.
better
Yes.
late than never.
Right.
We also got another shawl called EMELYN May shawl by Boston Jen.
That's right.
So I put that up in there. That's a beautiful sideways knit with stripes and a panel of lace kind of in the middle. Really pretty. Also, SS from Critium Handmade. She sent us her first pattern called the
Right.
TIRCHA shawl recipe. And
Yep.
that's for like a biased knit triangular shaped shawl, which is
I
really,
wonder if we could put pictures in at the end. That means editing. Would you do that?
that means I have to go and find and gather, and we'll see.
Does it make you want to do a platysma? Boy, you can really see my platysma.
Yes.
Okay, anyway.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I can't do that too many times because then the next day you're like, what's my
I
neck
will
sore?
go, and because it's been so long and I feel guilty for taking so long, I will go and I'll find pictures and I will try and insert them into the video.
Okay. Okay.
And then we got another pair of socks by Cozy Q Knits, who is Naomi, and that's called Spellbound socks. And
Oh, yes.
I think I might knit these maybe next because it looks like a very
them.
simple
Mhm.
pattern, textured kind of pattern. It's a 4-row repeat and it's very simple, kind of like a Hermione's, you know, something that only one
Things that
row
you
out
can
of
memorize
4.
are
Yeah, very
awesome.
super easy. That was
Easy
called
knitting.
Spellbound socks. So there are threads in our group. We're going to leave them up until the next time we podcast. So maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
After Thanksgiving.
After
Sometime.
Thanksgiving,
Yes.
go pop in there. Give us your little answer the thread question. I don't remember what I put in there for all of them, but.
And when we pull a winner, we'll just message the designer and let them send the pattern over to you.
Right.
Okay.
So
thank you, Debbie, for doing that.
You're welcome, Amy.
I was in the middle of, my hands were in dye pots yesterday when she was doing all of that.
Yes.
She says, can you chat? And I'm like, I got to prop you on the sink and I'm kind of speckling things right now if you can't hear me through my mask, but I can answer a question maybe.
And I want to thank Melissa again, Knitty by Nature, who helped us host one of our swaps. She did a lot of work to do that, and we really appreciate it.
Christmas in July.
Yeah. Thanks, Melissa.
And Melissa, she's, I tell you what, that girl.
She's a firecracker. I love that girl.
She's a firecracker. Yeah, she's a firecracker. I love Melissa. She's like my BFF.
Yeah.
I talk to her every day. And Debbie was talking to me yesterday. She said, I tried to message Melissa, and I said, well, that's funny because I haven't heard from Melissa today yet.
I think
usually I hear from her first thing.
she was with Roberta at that.
Oh, she was.
Festival.
That's right. She was. She messaged
she doesn't
me last
need to
night.
be talking to us. She better things going on.
But then she showed me the stuff she got, and it was really great.
Oh,
yeah.
We're gonna have to get her to do a.
She needs to do an Instagram live.
Yes,
I know she does.
Melissa,
I would not.
I know you're watching
to Pennsylvania, but that's really tempting because I would love to be her neighbor.
Yeah.
Should we talk about our mashup sweaters? Speaking of, since that's the other sweater, that's what I'm working on now.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, let's get yours. You have yours nearby?
I do. It's right here in my dag.
Okay.
In my dag bag. From my
in your
friend
dag bag. Dag.
I love this bag. Look, you guys, it's so big and squishy and just. It's got really soft flannel inside, and it's got.
That's what I love about her bags.
It's great.
She says she always puts. She says she always puts flannel on the inside of her bags.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? It's almost like it keeps your yarn and your project nice and warm and feels good against it.
Yes, cozy.
Just like our projects are animals. You would never. Just like I'm telling you what. I've got this pet peeve about sending or buying something from overseas. Who buys one skein of yarn from like the UK?
You
You
can't. It would
cannot.
be so lonely.
It'd be lonely. And there's people that have bought, like Dessou. Hi, Dessou. Dessou bought one of Ronnie's project bags. It was totally out of the blue. I'm like, what is she? I could not send that little bag to Israel by itself. Are you kidding me?
No.
So I put in some goodies in there and she
Well,
messaged me.
part of it
I
is
can't do that.
shipping gets very expensive
Well,
for people and
I
they don't
guess
want to have to
yes.
pay all the shipping because it
I
gets
know, but
heavy.
I feel like when I'm on the plane, every single time I take a trip, my stitch marker drops on the floor. I get like anxious. Like when I was flying with Ronnie last time we came, I said my stitch marker. I lost my stitch marker. He says, Amy, you don't have any more. I said I do, but I can't leave it here on the plane. It's like leaving your cat somewhere or your dog or heaven forbid your child.
Well,
I said I gotta find it.
think
He
about all
said,
the
Amy,
travels it
you
could
have a
have.
whole bucket of that. I didn't think about that. But when we got out, he found it for me. And then when I was coming back from Rhinebeck, it happened again. I was just like, when this guy gets out, I'm going to stand up because I think I felt it. It must be right there. And I found it. I've never
Amy.
once left a stitch marker on the plane. I couldn't. I felt so bad. I wanted to take it home with me. Okay, show me your okay, so let's talk about mashup. If people don't know what we're doing, we're calling this our mashup sweater, and it's not the name. If you go and look mashup on
You will not find
you
it.
will not find anything. Just like
However,
people were looking for the RHINEBECK sweater.
I
And there's no such thing as a RHINEBECK sweater. It's the box suite. It's just what it's the little pet name we've given sweaters that we've started and mother and mom has finished for us. It's called the RHINEBECK sweater. Okay,
yes.
so this is not the mashup sweater. This is actually the neckline of the alfaba,
Yes.
and then following, if you don't do any other modifications, which we'll talk about, the Ravello
Well,
sweater.
I would say we're not really following the Ravello sweater because we didn't buy the pattern. We just used
Right.
that as an
Just
inspiration for the
inspiration.
idea, right?
Okay.
It wasn't really
Right.
like we
And we're
are.
not really past the neck. We're really not following the alfaba either.
No,
So,
this is
but
our kind of our own thing.
I wonder if that little book that says knitting rules, and I do have another beautiful book that I bought and I haven't opened because I wasn't doing garments at the time. I want to do just the tiny little slightest bit of shaping after, I mean, I don't know, I guess past the bust line just to bring it in and then go straight down. I don't know when to do that or how to do that or should I
I
need to
would say
talk to
you
mom.
probably want to do it just above your waist so that you have a couple rows to do it. So probably
No,
four,
I'm talking about up here too. I'm talking about like kind of up like up in this area, like this like there.
right, like 4 inches below your underarm.
Yeah, but that's not your waist, is it? Well, I
No,
guess
but you
it's
that's where
no.
you would start.
Start it. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right,
All right,
because you
I'll
don't
have
want
to
to go
investigate that.
in like that immediately. You have to
No.
gradually do it over several rows.
Okay. And the neat thing about the alfaba, which I've never seen, well, I don't knit garments much, so it may be on a lot. It's called, she has a whole section on their short row darts for the bust
Yes.
because it's a fairly fitted garment, which is
I think
nice.
we should make it true to pattern and try and make it true to pattern with
Our
another
next
set of
sweater.
yarn. Maybe not the
Okay.
next sweater we make, but I'm going to
Yeah, we
definitely
should
keep
really
it in my
try it.
library, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, so show us yours. You're a little further than me because you started yours a
I
while
started
back.
mine at Rhinebeck because I bought the yarn at the knitting garage.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I've got a bunch of little ends I'm trying to tuck away so that they don't show up, but that's okay. I should start weaving in these ends so I'm not stuck with them all at one time. Because with stripes, you end up having, if you don't carry your yarn.
You didn't carry your yarn?
No, I did, but
Oh, okay. But then you switch. I get you. Now, when does it tell you to pick up the next stitches? Did you just do that just so you'd have a finished top? Boy, Debbie, you've gotten pretty far on that.
what are you talking about? Pick up
Because
what
I was looking
stitches?
in the pattern to do the neck, around the neck,
Oh,
around the
this?
neck. Yes.
Well, usually that finishing step is towards the end of the pattern. It's right
Okay,
towards
so
the end.
but you did that
I did it
early
right
just so
now.
you could, yeah,
I don't know if you can see.
it's pretty. I haven't done that yet on my neckline because I just I just got
Basically,
to
you pick up the stitches, and there's a way that you do like 3 and then skip 1 and 3 and skip 1, because there's a certain number that they recommend for the size.
and
And
that's a
then
reverse
reverse
stockinette.
stockinette, like 3 rows of purling on the right side, and then you just bind off, and it just, on the wrong
Curls
side,
itself.
yeah, on the wrong side, it just kind of curls over a little bit. See that?
That's really cool.
And it just makes a really pretty finished.
Almost like an I cord.
Right, but
It's like a mock I cord.
yeah, but it's the pearl side. I
Right,
cord is,
right, right, right.
an I
Yeah,
cord is knit lengthwise, and this is just
right,
in the row,
right, in the round.
in the round.
So have you
So
started, because your three different skeins for the bottom were different colors. Are you managing that? I see. Oh, did you start putting in some of the darker
I
ones?
did.
The darker one?
And this is looking kind of orange from this light, but
Oh, but I'm telling you, the natural light, when Debbie sent me a picture, was like, oh, wow.
got a lot of colors in it. It's called
Yes, it does.
Rocky Mountain High, Colorado is the name of the Madeline Tosh
Oh,
colorway.
so pretty.
And then this golden pink speckled is hedgehog fibers that was like a,
Mm-hmm.
what do they call it?
What
Not a
is the
one
name
of
of
a
that?
kind, but a, I don't remember what they call. Oh, here, I have it right here. A potluck. It was a potluck colorway.
Oh,
And then Madeline Tosh Twist Light.
was
That's
it
the,
charcoal?
yeah.
What was the charcoal?
The
Was
charcoal's
that
also Madeline Tosh Twist Light.
okay?
I have a project page with all the details.
Well, I'm too lazy to go over to the project page, so I'm just going to ask you all the questions about it.
So if
Say,
I stand up, I'm
it's
getting
getting there.
close. When I put this little marker on when I took that picture. Remember how I showed
Yes,
you in the bathroom and I
right.
took that picture?
Mm-hmm.
And when I measured, I think I wanted to go maybe that much farther. So I have a couple more
So
inches.
what are you going to do at the bottom? Did we decide what we're going to do at the bottom? Are we going to
I
do?
haven't done any shaping, so this is going to be total oversized, just flowy, boxy. I might do the same thing on the
I was
neckline
going to
around the
say
bottom and just
bottom,
have it
have
curl
it
under.
curl under. And so it's going to be long sleeve. You're going to follow the same striping order.
Yes, I think I will. And I'll
So
probably
pretty.
make it long sleeve and
Yeah,
just kind of decrease down and then maybe do the same edging around the wrist and just have it be real plain.
right.
So that's my mashup sweater.
Love it. Okay, so my mashup sweater, I showed the yarns from the Rhinebeck because one of them I got. This is Hugh Loco. Why is this one? Why is it getting all? Maybe I need one of those ball sacks. Oh, I have a ball sack from Roberta, Steel City Stitcher.
Yes, put it in
Because
there.
I need to do that because I don't know why it's getting wonky. It's getting wonky. Roberta, I know you're hollering right now. Put it in the ball sack. That's what it's for. I don't know if you can, is it blowing out? Can
A
you see
little
those
bit.
colors?
It's blowing out a little bit. Oh, there you go. That's
It's
pretty.
called Salt Water from Hugh Loco. And then I dyed what I'm calling my blue skies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a big honkin' 590 yards Miss Babs.
Oh, that's beautiful. I thought that was more of a more tealy, but it looks more like a blue jean color.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the
Green
green
side.
side than the blue side.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe it's not showing up exactly the
Oh,
way
Amy, those
it's really
colors.
represented. Isn't it pretty? So here's my mashup. I just, and I started this 4 days ago, 3.5 days ago. I just got to where I got to putting it in the round.
Oh, it's so pretty, Aim. So is your light your sky blue color the color that went across the first stripe?
Yes,
I think that's what
yes,
mine
because
ended up being too. I did the, let me look
and what
here.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I
do,
did the
of
black
course,
stripe across.
I can't modify, I can't do anything the same as anybody else. So okay, this is the back. So the blue stripe and the light stripe are all both 4 rows, all 4 rows. So I've just started. Now I'm going to do them each 3 rows. I'm going to do that for a little bit, and then I'm going to do them each 2 rows and then each 1 row. So I'm going to follow the stripes down past the bust a little bit, and then I'll do the solid at the bottom.
So you're not going to stripe the solid in.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. It's 4 rows each up here. I'm going to do 3 rows with the cream and the light blue. And then when I switch to the 2 rows each and the 1 row each, I'm going to use the
You're going to do
sky
3
blue.
colors.
And no, I'm going to do just these two.
Oh,
I'm going to do
okay.
the 2 rows each and the 1 row each is going to be this.
That'll be pretty. And it's a good way to extend your first color farther
Yes.
because you have maybe less of your main dark color than you need.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure, Debbie, when I looked at the Ravella when we were trying to figure out yardage on how much we would need, it was like 490 something for the main color, which is the sleeves and the bottom. It was a
And I
little bit
may just
more
be
than a normal
paranoid.
yard. Well, we know that already, but I'm talking about sweaters right now.
But you're
But
going to decrease down the number. See, I have a lot of stitches. Mine's very oversized and flowy, so mine's eating up
you're
a
doing
lot
the
more
same
yarn.
size as mine. You're doing the 41. I'm doing the 41. You're doing size 4 needles, so am I.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna do the neck stitches. Do you use the same size needle for doing the neck?
No, I think I went down.
And you have to pick up not every row, but every wonky whatever row. That'll be interesting. Why can't anything be just simple?
Well, split it in half and then in half again, and then figure out how many stitches you need to get in that. Sometimes if you break it up into sections, you can eyeball it a lot easier.
Oh,
So like fold it in half and put a stitch marker, and then fold that in half and put a stitch marker, and then fold those in half and put a stitch marker, so that you have stitch markers that are, and then you take the total number of stitches you need in that and divide it by the spaces that you have, and then you know
that's
how
true.
many you need to pick up. It breaks it
See,
up and
when you're a
makes it
math
more
wizard, you
even.
can do that.
That way you're not stuck at the end and you're like, oh no, I have to pick up 5 stitches in one stitch, I mean, or the other way
Oh, the
around.
other way around.
It makes it so that you can spread them out.
That's a good idea. You have lots of tips for the day.
I think mom taught me that.
I think she may have.
What else do you
So
have on the needles?
that's all. Well, I have my fabulous abacus, which I haven't worked on at all because I was busy knitting a sweater. And I've got some socks on that I haven't been knitting on because I've been knitting a sweater.
Well, I remember my socks I started last weekend with the pearl bumps on the change of the color. I
Yes.
started them at the baseball
Yes.
game, and
Yes.
they're not really a
Aren't they striped?
Christmas. Yeah, they're striped. They're not really Christmas colorway per se because they're called Sugar Skull is the colorway. But the colors are Christmassy enough that I am considering them Christmas socks because I want to knit some Christmas yarns for Sarah Love Sock Wool's 12 Socks of
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yes.
I didn't like the pearl bumps.
You didn't like the pearl bumps.
I really loved how the colors blended together on the bottom of the foot, and I realized that I didn't like the pearl bumps, so I ripped them out.
Ah, okay.
And I restarted them cuff down because they're striped. I forgot that when you want to cut in your heel and you want to put that in between 2 stripes, if you start toe up, that may not fall at the right spot. So I flipped them and I started them top down.
Cute. They look like, it reminds me of the Grinch Who Stole Christmas colors.
Doesn't it?
Yes, because that green.
Total Christmas color.
That's a pretty long cuff. You like cuffs long like that?
Well, when it stretches out, it doesn't seem as long.
Yeah. No, it looks good.
It's just a
Are these
2
gonna
by
be
2.
for you?
These are for me. It's a 2 by 2 rib with 60 stitches and then just a straight vanilla sock. I'm using my 2.25 Chow red lace, and I'm keeping them in my beautiful Finnegan
You're enjoying your bag.
Yeah, look at how they match. The pinks
They
match.
do.
And then I have my little sachet from Roberta.
It smells so good.
My gosh. You guys, if you haven't been over to her shop, you need to get some of those because they're so good. This is a tumbleweed yarn. It's their Aurora fingering weight,
Pretty.
80/20 merino nylon, 400
I haven't
yards.
seen that.
She didn't write the colorway on there, but I looked it up. It's the Sugar Skull colorway. And I had this yarn in my stash. I bought this before last Christmas, so it's been
Wow.
in my stash for probably a year at least. So I decided I
Cool.
needed to pull it out. So when I'm not working on my mashup sweater, this is more portable, so this is what I take to the baseball games and stuff. And I also started a new project that's secret knitting that I can't show. But before I show, well, I'm not going to show it, but I
What
wanted to
about,
show.
it's not the green sweater that you also have on the needles,
No,
is
I'm
it?
going to show that right now.
Okay.
So I am making the Light Rain pattern by Joji Locatelli. And
I think
I've
I
put,
might do that, but just put a different kind of neck on it because I don't want I have this thing about stuff near my neck. I don't like it. I don't like turtlenecks. I don't like things real close. I could wear a mock turtleneck because it's low and it's not so tight,
but this is
but
so oversized, Amy. It's not really
I
tight
know,
up on your neck. I mean, it
I
sits
know.
kind of like the shawl. It
Yeah,
fits more
I
like
know.
this. It's up to you.
And I don't have any well, the mashup sweater is the first pullover because I go into people's houses that are like 100 degrees because they're 100 years old and they're cold all the time. So if I had a cardigan, I could like take it off. If I have a pullover, then I may not be able to take it off unless I wear a t-shirt underneath.
Right.
Oh, Debbie, that tweed is so. How are you liking knitting with it? I've
I
never
like
made
it.
anything with tweed.
It's very soft. I mean, it doesn't feel,
Yeah.
it's not a scratchy thing at all. It's merino, so it's
Oh
totally
my
soft.
gosh.
And I'm at the
It is
point you
so
start,
pretty. What yarn is it, Debbie?
it's Hue Loco in her
We bought it in the
tweed.
driveway. It's the driveway colorway.
No, I actually got this at
Oh,
Indie
you bought it at
Untangled.
India Untangle. That's
Yeah.
right. You got this.
Um,
Oh
so
my
you
gosh, it's
do
so
like
pretty.
short rows up here, I think, to make the neck higher, and then you have, it's like a drop shoulder, where it's kind of boxy, and then you pick up the
Oh,
sleeves after. So you see how far over that
uh-huh.
goes?
So right now you're just like almost knitting like a rectangle,
Right.
like
So
back and
this is
forth.
the back. It's actually the back. This is the top of the back by the neck, and then you come down to a certain spot, and then you stop. And then it's a provisional cast on the shoulders,
Right.
and you pick out the provisional yarn, you take the live stitches, and then you knit the front, the left front and the right front, and then you attach it in the middle, and then you go down a little bit, and then you start knitting in the round.
Ah, okay. She has such interesting constructed things
So this is the
that
point.
work. They
This
all
is,
work.
yeah, this is the point at which the back piece is done until, and then you start on the front. So I figured it was a good place to stop while I finish up my mashup sweater.
Right.
And I'd love to get my other sweater, my Zweig sweater, on the needles.
We're still waiting.
Amy
Two
dyed me
weeks.
some yarn for that, and it
It's
hasn't
still not there.
come. I
I
think it
swear my
hasn't.
son threw it out the window on the way to the post office and took the
No,
20 bucks I
he
gave
did
him.
not. He did not. I think
2 weeks? Are you kidding me? Dessou got her package in 10 days. I can't believe I can send something to Israel and it'll get there before it gets to California. It's lost.
well, I don't know, but it's not a bad thing because it's making me finish. It made me make the decision to start the third color. That was kind of put me in a little
That's
bit of a
true.
pause with my other
Yeah,
mashup sweater. Now that
that's
that's
true.
on its way, I can just work on that until it's done, and then I'm going to be on Sleeve Island for that. So I think I'm going to
And the
wait to keep
stockinette
working on this.
slog. I never heard that before.
Yeah, total
Stockinette
slog.
slog.
Yeah. So this, I think I'm going to just set this aside. It was a good little filler for now until my other two sweaters maybe are done, and then I'm going to pick this up in the new year and get this finished for EYF. Because I want to have this for
Nice.
EYF for sure. Because this will be nice and cozy. This will be nice and warm.
Very.
So, do you have any acquisitions?
I do,
Do you want to
but they're
answer
from a
some
while
questions
back.
from the board?
Okay, what's questions from the board?
Let me flip my page because I had to write it down because I knew I wouldn't remember. Okay. Holly asked, she said she has a child's legging pattern that was written for fingering weight yarn, and she wants to use DK or worsted. How does she change the pattern? Why don't you take that question?
You get the Knitter's Rules book, and you can see how you can remake that pattern. Well, basically, it's all about gauge, right,
It's all
Debbie?
about the math, yeah.
And that's why you asked Debbie to answer the question. Take it away. Since you're the math engineer.
That's it's kind of tricky. It's not that tricky. It's just kind of tricky. So you kind of have to figure out how many stitches per
Final measurement.
inch. Yeah, the final measurement size of what you want. You find out what the gauge was written for the pattern, which is the number of stitches per inch. And then you figure out how many stitches per inch you're using with your yarn. So if there's 5 stitches per inch with your worsted weight and there's 8 stitches per inch in the pattern, you have to figure out how many stitches you cast on equals how many inches in the pattern, and then multiply those inches by the number of 5 stitches that you have per inch. And you have to do that for each of the measurements, like each of the number of stitches for each leg. And I actually made a little legging pattern for Maura, Kimberly's little baby girl. Yeah, it was 2 years ago maybe.
Is it in your Ravelry pages? Is
It
it one of
is.
your Ravelry pages?
It is.
So whoever asked that, go over to Debbie's Ravelry page to find that.
But I didn't change the pattern. I used the yarn called for in the pattern. It was really cute, like striping, colorful yarn that
Was it in worsted?
I think it was a heavy DK worsted weight, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe she could use
Maybe
that
she
pattern.
should just use that pattern. That's another thing you can do, Holly. Go on Ravelry, filter.
Put your filters in.
Yes, under worsted weight. And maybe that's probably the easiest thing, unless you're really into math.
And find a pattern. No.
Yeah, because with those leggings, row gauge is really important too, because that determines how much space there is between the crotch and the top of the pants and the legs. And if you're having trouble figuring out how big around a baby's head is, try and figure out like what's the ratio between
plus a diaper.
Plus a
if
diaper.
It's full,
yeah.
If it has poo-poo in it, or if it's pee-pee, or you
go find another pattern that's for worsted.
Or how chunky the thighs are, how many rolls are in the thigh, because the more it stretches that way, it's going to end up being capris. It's not going to be long enough. I think you should knit a baby hat. All said and done, scrap the leggings. I'm only kidding. Go for it.
So there's 2 more real quick. Love 68 asked if we're still doing the birthday swaps. No, I've stopped doing the birthday swaps.
It was too much homework.
After over a year, I kept forgetting, and my work schedule is just too demanding, and I didn't have the energy. We are happy to host the space for that to happen, and the group. If someone would love to volunteer to organize it and put the posts up every month and match the people, I love the idea of having a birthday partner that you get to meet a friend who has a birthday in the same month, maybe even the same day as you. And that's fun.
It was convenient that we quit before my birthday, which is next month. I'm only kidding.
We did it through one of your birthdays, right? You already
I know we've had it for I know.
So anyway,
the birthday angels that were there were so great.
Yeah. Okay, so if anybody wants to do that, contact me. I'm happy to have you be a contributor so that you can help manage that.
Secretary.
Yes. The last one, and I don't know if we'll be able to do this, both of us or maybe combined. Love to Read sent us a question. She said, I want to hear what your 10 best things about Rhinebeck was. Could you do 5 and I could do 5?
I could do 5.
I can do 5. Okay, I get to go first.
Okay, go.
Since I did the secretary part. Number 1 for me, of course, everybody's going to say this. It's about the people and meeting your friends and hanging out with your friends and connecting with the people that we get to chat with all year and that we interact with on Instagram and Ravelry and through our podcast, and we actually get to meet them face to face. That's the number 1 thing for me. Okay, your thing.
Probably the number 1 thing was eating an apple cider donut. No, I'm only kidding. That wasn't number one, but that was up there. And we got an a la mode. And then after standing in line for 20 minutes, which could have been an hour and a half, the first bite, Debbie gets mad at me. You're squashing the donut. You're gonna make it.
Well, listen, that's if I have any feedback for
We
those
should
apple
have
cider
told them to
donuts,
put. They
the
need to put it
donut
on the
on the
side,
top.
on the top or the side, not under the ice cream. Come
They
on,
put the
people! Don't you
donut on
know
the
how to make
bottom,
an
and
a
they
la
put this
mode
big old
donut?
thing of ice, and you go down on top of the ice cream, and the whole donut, which is beautifully fluffy and squishy, and where it goes.
But it was really
It
good.
was still really
Okay.
yummy.
Okay, so these aren't in order, but okay, so that's one of mine. Okay, what else is
Okay.
yours?
I think one of my favorite times of Rhinebeck this year was our Friday that you and I spent together walking in the shops.
Yeah. And shopping and just being just the two of us.
Just the two of us together. That was really fun.
Another really, really fun thing was having lunch with Danny and Connie. Our
Yes,
very first
when we
meal. As soon as
first
we
got
got into
there.
Rhinebeck, we had a Thai. We went to the Thai restaurant
Yeah.
and took pictures and had a yummy meal. That was so much fun.
Yeah. Okay,
And
another
then what's
one
your
of
number
my
three?
favorite things was that the house that we had was so big. Every night we were like the party house, and all kinds of people came over.
Yeah.
And we were drinking wine and having drinks and barbecuing. Thank you, Danny, for barbecuing for us.
Yep.
And that was really fun. It kind of goes with number one, but where we stayed with the room to house all the people was really fun. And thank you, Eric, for finding the place. Last year, Eric, right as we were leaving Rhinebeck,
day after we left,
he was searching and he's like, "Look at this place I found." We're like, "Yes, let's get it." So that was cool.
Okay, so probably the third thing for me, which sort of goes into that, was the location. And the weather was so incredibly gorgeous, not so much to wear knits, but
Yeah.
now that I'm doing some running, I was able to run twice. I was able to run Friday morning and Sunday morning through the town, and I didn't even get lost, which I was afraid of. So I was paying very close attention when I turned left and right because I would have needed my phone as the GPS to get me back to the house. But it was so beautiful. I think the weather and the location where we were, literally 5 blocks, not even from the fairgrounds. So that's number three for me.
Yeah.
What about number four for you?
I think actually taking some time to see the animals this year was cool. And
Yeah.
seeing the sheep. I didn't take a lot of pictures of the animals, but it was neat to see all the different kinds. I mean, there's so many different varieties. And to kind of get a peek into the life of the farmers that, do this for their full-time jobs, that was really cool. And that alpaca at the end that was like pacing around and coming up and making noise and pacing around and pacing around. He didn't want his picture taken really. Whenever we tried to get him to come up close, he would turn around and walk away. But I thought that was kind of fun to see the animals.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta come up with two more things. I took a couple minutes just to talk to Ms. Babs, kind of on the side. She never, as busy as her booth
Places,
is,
yeah.
and as many people are in line and waiting to check out, she's got some really, really great staff. So they have girls up there doing that. So I guess when we caught her, it was at a time where she was just, she never is rushed. She's always so genuine, just like she's there just to hang out and say hello. If I had a chair, she'd probably sit down and knit with me.
Yeah.
It was really sweet to be able to talk to somebody. And I remember Danny say, "This Miss Babs, she's famous, this Miss Babs." It's just like we were in line for a little while, but not anywhere near like on Saturday. It was wrapped almost all the way around the building. And Danny was really funny. He says, "This Miss Babs, she's famous. No, this Miss Babs." Well, you could say that.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. My last one, maybe.
There's so many things about people,
Yeah.
the people we saw and the people we finally connected with, and
getting to meet Helen. I think I mentioned that when we talked on our Rhinebeck. That
yes,
was
and Tracy and
just so
Jody I'd
nice.
met before, and just all
Yeah.
of that is so and
getting to hang out with
just
Melissa in the airport that last day.
oh
That
yeah, that
last
was fun for
day
you.
would have been a terrible
nightmare.
nightmare, lonely
And who would
nightmare.
have thought you would have had a whole day to sit with spicy
I
homemaker and
know.
just knit and talk and
We had a
without anything to do
fabulous
but wait till your
lunch and
plane
we
gets there.
connected. And she actually just texted
See?
me yesterday and said, "Hey, I
Oh,
just want to check and see how you're doing." She said things over here are going really well,
yeah,
and she said, "I really want to, my goal," and I told her my goal, my same goal this year is to really try and make more of an effort to stay connected to people and stay in
hmm,
contact with people. You know, Rhinebeck leading up to it, and then it's like a bell curve. You
right
know,
after,
you
yeah.
and then right after you kind of
You're
lose
talking, talking,
touch, and you
talking.
kind of
Yeah,
get busy again. The holidays are
yeah,
here, and you think about them, but you don't take the time to reach out to them maybe and
yeah,
actually have a conversation. And so that's what I would like to do. And it was
yeah,
just, Melissa, I know you're probably at some point in your busy life, you'll get to watch this episode. And it really meant a lot
yeah,
to me to have you reach out and share what
yeah.
was going on lately with you. And I'm really thankful that you did that. So it's awesome.
Well, it wasn't quite 10 things, but that's probably
Pretty
enough.
close. Yeah.
Well, and I haven't acquired things that I bought. It was actually some things that were gifted to me that I wanted to show real quick. Did you have some things too, or do we want to move on to Skeins in the closet?
Were they things you were gifted at Rhinebeck or just
No,
separate from
no,
Rhinebeck?
this
Yeah.
is before Rhinebeck.
Before Rhinebeck. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have gifts. Well, I do have one gift that was sent to me before Rhinebeck, and then I have a couple purchases that I made before
Okay.
and after Rhinebeck. So why don't you just go first?
Well, I got a really cool skein of yarn from Hypnotic Yarn. I know her on
I
the
follow
Facebook.
her. She
Yes, she's
is
on Instagram, but she's
beautiful. Ooh. Oh, what a cute. Look at those eyes on her little logo. How cute
I
is
know, aren't
that?
they cute? And the colorway is Creature Double Feature, and I won a sock contest on one of the groups that I'm in on Facebook. It's
Uh-huh.
called Dying to Knit, and I posted my Maze of Maze socks, and it depends on how many people like the picture, and
Uh-huh.
I had the most likes, and so Catherine Brand, she sent me on this. I was just like, oh my gosh, I love it. Look how beautiful it is, though.
Oh, it's so
It's like this
gorgeous.
gray and this taupey color
Yeah.
and speckles of black.
Are those going to
Hypnotic
be
yarn.
socks for Ronnie?
I don't know. This is a perfect colorway though for my oldest son said, Mom, when I have to dress out for the military and stuff like that, I have to wear khakis or black pants. I'd really kind of like some socks that were neutrals. That might be a good, just a regular
Yes.
stockinette sock for him.
Yeah.
Um, I also was gifted Dag. She's so silly. That Dag from Zia Wools. She sent me Creeper, which was her colorway for
Halloween.
Halloween.
And she sent me a mini skein of the first prototype before she got it the way she wanted of
Oh, really?
her
It had
Halloween. See, this
less
one
pink
has,
in it.
yeah, it has just
Yes.
gold and brown. And then she sent me a full skein. She's way too
She sent me
generous.
another skein too of worsted. Was it worsted? Yeah, it's her Duke base. Oh,
This is her beekeeper son colorway.
oh my gosh, so pretty. Those remind me of the colors in the socks you just got done. Little bit.
Look at that
Ooh,
green.
that's so pretty. Holy cow.
And this is her Hemes base. This is non-superwash sport weight. It's a 80/20 merino nylon,
Ooh, that
three
might be a neat
ply.
wrap. Squishy.
Yes, it's really soft.
She sent me Phoenix Rising
Oh,
in her
aim.
worsted.
Well, that's going to make a beautiful hat.
Yeah, a hat that I may have to knit 3 times before I get the right size. Thank you very much.
You just need to look on Ravelry and download some free hat patterns so you get the number of
At
stitches
least
and the
the
lengths
initial.
right. Yes.
Okay.
That's what Ravelry is
Thank you,
for.
Dag. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Dag.
Dag. Oh,
Love them so much.
she just had her studio tour yesterday. I
I
texted
know. I was
her.
watching her podcast. I said, "Oh my gosh, it's coming up."
Yeah.
How did she do? Good?
She did good. She said it
She
went.
sell all those fingerless mitts?
I don't know. I haven't talked to her since then,
Oh my
but we're
gosh.
probably going to talk here soon in the next couple days.
That's
But
fun.
when I texted her, she said, it's all slowing down now. And I'm sitting here with just a couple
Oh.
friends and knitting. And so it sounds like she had a nice time to visit with some people too.
Well, of course, Nitty by Nature, Melissa, she's always sending me things and she's such a stinker. I think I purchased some of these, but um little cupcake and little tea and these
Oh,
couple little things that say one says trust and one says miracle, I think is on there, and a little sock.
oh, that's so
And
cute.
then she also sent me, I think I bought some of those, and then she sent me this Sugar Skull soap.
Oh, wow.
Look at that little progress cube. Look at the little sweater.
Oh, that's Tuft Woolens, Amy.
Oh, wait a
That's
minute.
that's hard to get.
Oh, it smells so
Tuft Woolens is
good. Now that I showed it, I can put it in the shower.
that,
Or
Amy, make
it's
sure you
it's for
read it.
your
It's for
I
your
know, it's not
wool.
for a shower. I know. Everybody's like, "Stop! Amy, don't wash your body with it unless you get in the shower with your sweater. Then you can." Okay. All right. So another funny on me. So then I got this. Okay, don't say anything.
It has jewelry on the end. Oh, I know what that is.
I was like, is this incense? I messaged Melissa. She's like, don't set it on fire. Whatever you do, it's not to burn. It's a shawl pin. I'm like, oh,
Amy.
I, I don't use shawl pins. How am I supposed to know that? But now that I have one, I can use it. I've never bought one for myself. It's got a cute little lotus on the end. But doesn't that, no lie, you guys, doesn't that look like a stick of incense? Debbie, you've never been around people smoking pot? Doesn't that look like a stick of
Never.
incense? Oh, God, please, people. Okay, so a long time ago, wasn't there a song about that?
Yes.
Okay, a fiber addict,
Yes.
Adriana, her husband came home from his deployment. This is like back in April, May. I kept messaging her, when's the date? When is he coming home? They pushed it back 2 weeks. We don't have a date yet. He finally came home. So I sent them a little care package, a welcome home package, even though he doesn't knit. It's like, I'm going to send you a care package anyway.
It's all for her.
So it was all for her. Well, there were some things for both of them. There were some cute little love coupons, if you know what I mean, and it's a
Yeah.
couple things for the kids. Okay, anyway, so she kept saying, I'm going to send you something back. I'm going to send you something. I'm like, Adriana, you do not need to be sending me something. Well, she finally got around to sending me something back. And I tell you what, her package to me, which was ridiculously so sweet and so much more than I sent her, she shouldn't even sent it. But I'm telling you what, holy cow. Okay, so she knows I like sushi, apparently. Here's, is it the right way? Hold on, like a tea towel. Look at the sushi.
Oh, look how cute.
Isn't that the cutest?
Yes.
And another one that says Sue, she,
Sushi.
Sue, she. Okay. And California sushi roll from String to Stitches, a colorway with a
No
stitch marker.
way.
Look at that sushi roll. Look at
Oh
this
my,
color.
is that a, that looks like
It's
a
called
super
California
miniature.
sushi roll. It may be, Debbie.
That looks like it might be. Let's look at the detail on that thing. Yeah.
Look at the edge.
Oh my gosh, a little
Look at
rice.
this. I know the rice with a little um
Pepper,
the little seeds, pepper
sesame
seeds.
seeds.
Look at that color. It's got greens and black and this beautiful salmon.
That's
Isn't
really
that
pretty.
awesome?
What's the weight?
String string to stitches. It's a fingering
What's
sock.
80? What is it? 75,
It's 75.25.
25. Yeah, it's pretty.
75.25. Okay, here's another string to stitches.
Is that her?
There's a pin. No, this is something that she had. I don't think so. It's not her. Even though she is dying, dying. Oh gosh, now I feel stupid. Look it up on your phone and see.
Okay.
This is called Tahitian Getaway.
Ooh, it sounds like it's going to have all kinds of beautiful colors.
It's 75.25. I'm taking off the ball band so you can see it.
Oh my goodness. Yep, just like I pictured.
And it's blowing out these
Blue,
greens
green, and
and
purple.
blues and purples, little pops of like these lavender pops.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
What'd you find out?
I just had to turn my phone on because I turned it off. Okay, what am I searching?
String and the number 2 and then stitches.
I'm going to look on Instagram first.
Yeah.
String. Oops. If I could type it right and spell it right. String 2 stitches. No results found in Instagram. Let's
It
see. I'll just Google it.
it can't be her. So if it is, she'd be on Instagram, wouldn't she?
I would think
You
so.
pull up Fiber Addict, it would say if she had a. I don't think she's selling her yarn. She is dyeing things though.
String 2 stitches. Hmm.
And here are some more things, a couple more things she sent me. Kitten Smitten, which is a silk. This is the silky merino sock. It's superwash merino silk and bamboo from Expression Fiber Arts.
Ooh, that's pretty. Is that 2 separate
2
skeins?
skeins. Uh-huh.
Is that going to
Yeah.
stripe, you think?
I don't know.
Okay, nothing comes up on Google for string 2 stitches. Ooh,
So I
pretty.
don't know. String to stitches.
Is that a sock yarn too? That looks like it's
It's
like it has silk in it or something.
it does. It's superwash merino silk and bamboo.
Like, am I smart or what?
I know you heard me say it. I've already said it now. This is the second time, so you heard it already.
Oh, I didn't hear that, but I guess I
It's
heard it
190
subconsciously.
yards each. Ooh, it's really soft. And
That
then you
would
think
be a
it's got.
color that mom would put in a wrap.
Yep. These would make really cool mittens or fingerless
Ooh,
gloves, wouldn't they?
yes.
And then she sent me this really cool project. I haven't even taken it out because I wanted to show it. It's a military U.S. Army because she knows that
Oh,
Jared's in the National Guard. Thank you, Adriana. And a little stitch, red, white, and blue stitch marker. A
little
little
that
sock.
looks like a Nitty by Nature stitch marker, doesn't it?
I wonder if it is. But
I don't
I'd
see
mess.
anything on here for her.
You don't.
Mm-mm.
I texted Jared yesterday. He's up in college, and I said, "Happy Veterans Day, honey." And he said, "Thanks, Mom." I mean, he's
Oh,
been in the National Guard for a year and a half now, but it counts. It's still. I mean, he spends a lot of time doing soldier things. Thankfully, not for
yeah.
real. So
He's training for the possibility to defend our country if he's needed.
yeah,
That's really good. I saw a post on Instagram with him and a bunch of buddies. I think
yeah,
is
they
that
were
his
hiking.
fraternity or
Oh, I'm sure those are pledges. Yeah, I'm sure.
yeah.
I don't know. They were on someone's front porch. I'm not sure what they were doing, but there were the
Think
post before that. They were There was a couple kids with him. Beautiful. They were hiking a couple weekends ago. You know, in
did you
Dahlonega
see
in the
the
mountains.
smile on his face? I don't
Where
think
did that come from?
I almost didn't recognize him. I had to
There must have
do a double take
there must have
because
been this really cute girl taking the picture, and he couldn't help himself. I'm
he
sure of it.
never smiles that big ever. I don't think I've ever seen so handsome. And I looked and I was like, "Is that Jared?" I said, "That's got to be him because nobody else in this picture looks like my nephew." Man,
Hold on a minute. Let me find that picture so people can see.
it was so.
Oh.
He looks like he's having a great
He's
time.
in the upper
Left
left.
hand,
Will it be upper left? Do you want
yeah,
me to
upper
show it?
left hand corner. Bring it closer, even closer. He had a big old smile on his face. So handsome.
He was drunk.
No, he
No, he
was
wasn't drunk.
not, Amy.
Hopefully. And they're all smiling like, well, most of them are
Well,
smiling
did you
like
see what
that.
the caption said? I wonder if they were laughing because that's what the person taking the picture said.
Yeah. Everyone say dog bleep. Starts with an S, ends with a T.
All right, I want to show something I bought because this is my one of my favorites. And I know all you guys that are watching us have seen this gal's shop. And I should have made sure I remembered her name.
And you didn't remember her name.
No, but I remember her shop name. I'm sorry. It's going to
Debbie.
come to me. Maybe I'll have to
So
look it
much for
up.
promoting people. They'll feel really
Well, the
personal.
name of the shop is more important than anything else.
That's right, because that's how you find them.
Look at this bag, you guys.
How cute is that little sock sack? Oh, look at the balloons. What's the
And
name of the
look,
shop?
it's got
Yeah,
measuring tape.
yeah, yeah.
Isn't it
That's fun.
awesome? It's the scrappy thread. And I have a funny story because I was actually, one of my church services that I go to starts at 9 o'clock, and she has her updates on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. So I'm
You
sitting
sitting
in
in
church
church
with my phone.
buying bags.
Bye, 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 bye.
Debbie.
But they're gone
Debbie.
so fast. And this was just the cutest. And look at the interior.
And she's called Stitching
No, the scrappy thread. She's a
Scrappy
quilter,
Thread.
and she
Scrappy
has all
Thread.
these scraps left over.
Oh, how cute.
And she has, beautiful little stitching, and she's got holiday bags in there. She did a whole series on Halloween, and she has those
Oh,
little flat sacks that are like little notions pouches.
yeah, yeah.
And her bags are just so awesome. And I love like
That's beautiful.
the little
Yeah.
neutral color, and then the beautiful little colors all around. I can't show the project inside because that's some Christmas knitting. So that was one of my purchases, and that was before Rhinebeck. This was also before Rhinebeck. Everybody's seen it. This is the hippo for the Harvey
Yes.
fundraiser that Lolo did. This was what
Yes.
my skein looked like, and I bought two, and we're going to use one as a giveaway.
Ah, yay.
So that's hippo helping hippos, and then
She needs to do a Hungry Hippos for Christmas. Remember the Hungry Hippos game that you've got
yeah.
the things go like that?
Did you see her
Um,
latest bag design?
no.
She has taken photos of her yarn like raw, laying out, not knit
Wow.
up, but just like laid out,
Skeins.
not
This is
skeined up
Skein?
even, just like laying flat, open, like right after you dye it, laying it out.
Yeah,
She's
when you're
taken
drying it.
pictures of that, and she has that on some bags now.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
when we were in Rhinebeck, I'm going to grab a skein from up here. We got to meet Angie from Camel City Dye Works.
I love Angie. Hey, Ann.
Hi, Angie.
Hey,
She just
did you
went to
know?
London. She was
Why?
just in Europe.
She didn't tell us.
No, I know.
She's supposed to tell us before she travels.
Crazy
We're
girl.
best friends now. Hey, little known fact about Angie. Did you know that Angie and Wendy have the same birthday?
No way.
July 19th. I told her she was meant to be our sister.
Yes. Oh,
Yep.
that's so cool. So
Yep.
she gifted me this full skein of yarn called Tide Pool. Is
Oh my
that
gosh, it's
not the
so
most
gorgeous. It's
beautiful?
got sparkle.
It's got sparkle.
Don't show that to mom.
She
Oh, too late.
is Camel City Dye Works,
Oh my
and this is
gosh.
her sterling, 75/20, 5% stellina. Fingering
Wow.
weight, 100 grams. So when I saw that, I was like, I'm going to have to check out her shop. So even though I bought all this yarn at Rhinebeck, I had to go and check out
And
her
buy some
shop.
more.
Look at what I got. This is her Salem 4-ply 75/25. It's called Bug Juice. And you know who just
Oh,
finished a pair of
wow.
socks using this? Sarah, I think from Lovesock Wool, just
Oh
finished
my gosh,
knitting.
how cute.
Or no, not
Look at
Sarah.
that.
I think it was Amber, the yarn hoarder. One of those two had just finished a pair
Look
of
how
socks.
pretty.
Look at the crazy pops of,
You gonna make socks with those?
yes, totally. Look, there's like bright pinks and
I know.
oranges, and look.
But it's got this real cool greenish base almost.
Yes, it's like a really neon
Wow.
greeny color. So I love that.
That's neat.
And
Angie, you're
then
so brilliant.
look at
Brilliant, I
look at this
say.
one, you guys. This is her Bethabara Bethabara base, 80% superwash BFL, 20% nylon. This is going to make some
Mm.
really squishy, sturdy socks. This is called Midnight Garden.
Ooh, wow, Debbie.
Look at all the colors in that.
It's like every color in the rainbow.
I know.
I said rainbow.
It's okay. You're allowed.
Wow.
Isn't that
Oh my
beautiful? I mean,
gosh, that is.
look at those
Take off the
bright
ball band. Let me
pinks.
see the whole thing. Sorry, I'm being bossy.
That's right.
Ah, Look at that beautiful gold melony color, almost like a cantaloupe color.
I know.
Wow.
And these dark midnight blues and the bright
So pretty.
pinks. Look at those. I can't
Wow.
wait to skein that
That's
up.
going to be a beautiful pair of socks.
Just all multi
Okay. You can wear that with
colored,
any pair of shoes, any color
any
pants.
color sweater.
Yep.
So I really love this.
Wonderful.
Angie, you're a genius with the colors. And I can't wait. I have yet to knit with BFL. You know the yarn I bought
I don't know that
from
I have either.
Kristen, the Woolenvine skein I bought this year was BFL.
Oh,
So those will be my Christmas Eve
the
cast
tea
on
leaves.
socks. Yes. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. And that's all I got.
So I've got a couple things to say about shop update.
Oh, Aunt Jan sent me a ton of bags. I need to show some.
Yes, you need to.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, so we're going to do one more round of bags for this to close out this year. And we bought this fabric off online, and it's so great. And we've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And this is the cutest fabric. Look at it.
Oh my goodness, I love the snowman. Oh, how
Isn't it
cute.
perfect? And we've got, hang on a
It's
minute.
adorable, Amy.
And we've got this to go on the inside.
Oh, so cute. Red with the white polka dots.
Yep. So we're going to make bags. We're going to have our sewist. She's apparently getting ready to have surgery in December. So I'm going to be getting this to her this week so she can make the bags. We're going to have the bags made just a little, like more of a medium size bag with the magnetic closures.
Is that a little
So
bigger or a little smaller than?
a
Oh,
little
okay.
bigger size bag. It'll have two magnetic closures. And so they'll be going in the shop probably it'll probably be maybe around Thanksgiving
Okay.
ish. She can usually crank them out pretty quick within a week or two. The bags that are in his shop now have been reduced so we can make room for the new bags. There are a couple things left in my shop. There's just a tiny handful of partridge in a skein tree. Everybody that has bought the Advent kit, all of them have been shipped. The last were shipped on Friday. So, but if you would still like it, there is a couple left in the shop. And I also have
I'm going to
pre-orders
buy
for,
2 of those, I think, Amy.
okay. All right. So then there's even less than what I said because Debbie's buying too. So you might want to go over and get it. And I also put up a pre-order for my birthday colorway. It's called Amy's Confetti. What I call it? Amy's Birthday Confetti, which
Surprise confetti, something like that.
surprise confetti. It's going to be a surprise skein. It's on sparkle it has stellina. It's on sparkle yarn and it comes with a regular mini coordinating mini. And I dyed all those yesterday, and I really like them. But they're all my favorite colors. So if you know that, you kind of know what they'll look like.
Yeah.
So you can go over and they'll be shipping out. My birthday is December 12th, so they'll be shipping out just before my birthday. So go over and sign up for pre-orders. And I was also thinking about sort of doing a giveaway that has to do with people buying stuff in the shop. If you have bought anything from my husband or me's shop since I'm going to say October 1st, since I thought that was kind of more, that was before we had like the partridge in a skein tree up in there and stuff. So if you have bought anything from me or my husband's shop since October 1st, and I will let this run all the way through to my birthday because I want to get it out before the end of the year for Christmas. Um, you are going to be your name's going to be put in a pile for a giveaway for one of these, maybe the snowman bag, possibly with some other really great goodies, some yarn goodies from my stash, and maybe some yarn goodies that I've dyed and I've never shown anybody.
So
So
get over there and buy up the
get over there.
last of the bags. You get a discount on the bags that are in the shop.
That's right. And this is how I'm going to do it. It's not one entry per buy, but it's going to depend on, because if you buy the partridge in a skein tree, the advent
That's
is a lot more
expensive.
expensive than just, so for every $20 that you spend, and shipping is included, is going to give you, and I'll round up, is going to give you that many chances to be in
Okay.
this thing. So
How
if you
fun.
bought, like, if you bought some of the Sexy Sip Sock Club, or you got the Advent, that'll put even more chances, since they're a little bit more expensive. That'll give you more chances to win this Christmas surprise giveaway. So
Yay. That's so
so I'll
fun.
announce that when we do close to my birthday. I'll close um the bucket of everybody's names, and I'll let you know who won, and I'll be sending off a little Christmas
Should we
package
do
to
a
them.
giveaway from the comments on our last podcast?
Maybe we should, because we were just
Right
talking about how
now.
much we love that. Okay, right now.
Okay.
What are we gonna say? What are we gonna do?
I'm going to go on there and I'm going to try and
How
see.
many
I
are there?
think they say um the number of comments that were made. So let me go. If you can bring up random.org.
Oh, Lord.
Do you know how to do that? Do I need to
Yes,
do
okay, yes,
everything around
okay. No,
here?
I can do it. My gosh, please.
66 comments.
That's how many we had?
Yes. Hopefully. I'm going to
Okay, so
order
1 to
them.
66?
I'm going to order them the newest first so that they're in the order of the oldest one to the newest one.
So I'm going 1 to 66?
Yes.
Generate.
Please don't be 75. Oh, or 60. 28. Okay.
Why,
1,
what's 60?
2. I just means I have to count a whole bunch.
Oh.
28.
Meh. Meh.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
19, 4, 32,
11,
22.
18.
You have to start over yet.
Are you kidding me?
You have
Don't
to
do
start
that. Everybody doesn't want to talk amongst yourselves now because my
over. Okay.
sister is a perper. 1, 2, 3.
I'm a pot stirrer. Okay, so we have to think about what we're going to give away. What should we give away? I love giveaways, especially when I don't know what we're giving away yet. It's a surprise to all of us.
28. A knitter's nest. She said, "We are all made of the same fabric. Love you, girls. I have 4 sisters. Sisters rock."
I thought she
Yes.
was going to say, you guys talk too much and I won't be listening again. Wouldn't that be wonderful to give somebody like that a giveaway?
I just got to
No,
figure out
people
how
don't
she has
put
her own
nasty messages
podcast.
on there.
I just clicked on her name and she has her own
Knitter's
podcast.
Nest. What's the name of it?
A knitter's nest. Okay, write that down. Do you have a pencil? Hurry
Hold on,
up.
let me get my secretary.
We're
I have my
almost at an
alpaca
hour and
pen.
45 minutes. We got to finish
Oh my
this thing
gosh,
up.
Mom is
It's
going to
way
kill
too
us.
long.
She wants to watch Dr. Phil, and we're keeping her from it.
People are going to have to break this up.
Knitters, Knitters nest.
Yes. And it looks like she spins and she knits. And I have some, if I can find it. I think I still have something that I can put in the thing. But I don't know your first name, A Knitter's Nest, but contact me or Amy on Ravelry or Instagram and get us your information. Both of us, because we're both going to send you something.
Yes. See, it pays off to put a comment.
Communicate,
and if you
people.
can't be kind, be quiet. So don't put a nasty comment, even if you want to.
That's right. That's our motto. Okay, we better sign off. Happy knitting,
No, we got to
everybody.
show Aunt Jan's bags.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
We must.
They're sitting right here. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to show just a sprinkling.
Up and down. Up and down.
Up and down real quick. This is a pieced one I love. Very similar to one of the ones that she made before. Love it.
Drawstring. Love it.
Yes, these are all drawstring. These pieced ones that she's done are all batiks, and they're gorgeous, people. I'm telling you. Look at those fabrics.
What's the inside look like?
Those
are all pieced.
Batik. The fronts are pieced. The backs. Look.
Oh, I love that one. Oh, I'm going to have to shop before everybody else does. Don't put them all up yet.
They're all in there now.
Oh my gosh, I gotta get my phone. I gotta start buying.
Do you need me to take that one down? Okay. Then she's got some more simple style that are just the bottom is a different color than the top. But look at all these awesome fabrics, you guys. All different colors. I love this one.
Oh, it's so, oh my gosh, it looks like, even though it's, but they almost look like little Christmas tree lights. Oh my gosh, what?
Okay, so go over to the shop. Debbie Reese Designs on Etsy. Get your orders in.
I want you to take down that one.
The purple one? This one?
No, that's, yes, yes, that's mine. Sorry, everybody, that's mine.
This one?
That one. What's the back? Yes, yes, that one. I want that one.
Okay, I'll take it down.
Okay, sorry, everybody, that's mine. Sorry.
Okay. Love you,
Okay,
Miss
so if
Di.
you can't be kind,
Be quiet. Bye.
love you.
Love
Bye.
you.